Good morning. So I'm gonna have to try to talk a little bit louder today because I realize that the volume on here is not that good, but other than that, I actually got a microphone, but the microphone can't be plugged in at the same time as the cord to make my GPS work, and I don't know where I'm going, so I have to, I guess, just talk louder to accommodate. So I really do hope that this is loud enough for you to hear my, my commentary for today. All right. So last night was really fun. Not fun. It was cool to me. I have been a part of this group called Citizens Academy. It's basically where you go and learn about the city and different things that the city does, like the police department, fire department, the public library, the waterworks, everything that helps a city function and run. We did like mock city council meetings, and that was one of the coolest things. I'm not even gonna lie. It kind of makes me want to run for city council, but I think I need to run for city council if I plan on being mayor. Maybe, I don't know, but I will be mayor of something if I have time. I don't know if I'll have time, but I want to. But you have people who dedicate their whole lives to politics, and I am not that person. However, I am a person who wants to see change, and I would like to be a catalyst for change. And in order to do that, I need to have more to me than just, hi, I'm a mother of 4. Yay. That's one of the reasons why I'm building the business that I'm building, and I am doing everything that I'm doing. It's so that I can gain notoriety. Is that the right word? Because people, if they don't know you, they don't trust you. And I would like to be someone that people know and trust. So that would be cool. Let me see if I can get this clean. No. It's really bright outside today, and I have a really far drive. I'm going all the way to Plano, which is about almost an hour away from where I live. I think I'm supposed to be there at like 10:15. My ETA has me getting there at 10:23, but I have to be set up. My booth needs to be set up at 10:45, and that's not going to be a problem because I have everything in the back with me, and I just took everything this morning. But so this Christmas has been a different kind of Christmas for me, because normally, so when I used to have a job, when I say a job, I mean like, W-2. When I used to work, I worked for American Airlines for about 5 years, and I had to be available for holidays. However, I never really had to work a holiday. Sometimes I did like a Thanksgiving here and there, but never really like on Christmas Day or anything like that. I've always been able to kind of finagle my way out of doing that. But this year it's a little bit different because the company that I started, it is requiring me to be available almost all the time, because I guess people need cakes a lot, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I had no idea. I had no idea that people went through cakes like this. I didn't know that people got cakes and desserts for literally every occasion, and that's a weird thing not to know considering how much I love food, but I'm not a big dessert or cake person. Weird, huh? But I just didn't know. And now that I do know and I can see how insane this market is, I do plan on taking full advantage of it, because that's how I'm gonna make my bajillion dollars, is through cakes. And then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna change the world. So I tell one of my I don't know if it's a tagline or whatever, but I say I am going to change the world through cupcakes. And I fully intend on doing that. So I want to get famous through my food. I also would like to be a speaker. So I started at the National Speakers Association, or NSA. I began with them, and so far I've already learned so much about myself and my craft and who I am and how I want to present myself. It is one of those things where I feel like everybody should learn or go through some kind of communication course. It's incredible how your words literally dictate who you are, and it shows everything. I'm a really big person on words. When I say that, I mean your words have meaning. Whether your intent is the same as my understanding, that is two different things. But I feel like you should always speak with intention. You should always, whenever you say something, it should be how you actually feel. Don't try to insinuate or have people assume. I am really just big on, like, if I say, "Ooh, I like your hair," I mean, "Ooh, I like your hair." If you want more information, then that's cool, but I like your hair, so I told you I like your hair. Now, what a lot of people do is they do this passive-aggressive BS where they're like, "Oh, your hair is so cute for you." And you're like, why couldn't you just say my hair was cute? Why is that so hard? So and then when you say, "Why would you say that?" They're like, "Oh, what do you mean? I don't understand." The problem with passive-aggressive people is that they never understand what they did wrong. And I'm like, so I don't ever want to be one of those people. I don't ever want to get stuck in that situation. I just want people to know that when I say something, that is what I mean. When I do have a sarcastic streak in me, but that's just because, I don't know, kind of an a-hole sometimes. Sometimes it's not with intent, other times it is. Actually, most of the time that it is intended, because again, I'm really big on words. So if I say something dickish, it's because I'm being a dick. Yeah. Let's see. So I don't know really what to talk about. Today I am on my way to this event for E-Women. The E-Women is an organization where their goal is to have 1 million women be worth over $1 million. I find that to be quite an admirable goal, and I plan on being one of those 1 million women. I enjoy this group a great deal because it has led me to amazing connections, and I have met some potential business collaborators for in the future, and I just straight up sold things from just going to their events. used to be a part of it when I first started doing the cupcake thing, but then I quit because the lady who was over it was insane. And when I say she was insane, I don't mean that as in like a, oh no, you so crazy. I mean, no, she was insane. That's a whole story for another day, because holy crap. So I went back because this lady invited me, and I found that I really enjoyed the actual experience, and this group seems to be a lot more solid. It has a lot of great women in it, and they offer a lot individually, personality-wise, and business-wise, and I feel incredibly blessed to be a part of this group. Now, with that being said, today I am going for the Christmas luncheon, and I plan on selling the fool out of the products that I brought. They are so cute. We've made little gift boxes and gift sets and mini cupcakes, and it's just so beautiful, and I'm so proud of my team and the work that they have put in. I know I say this a lot, but I would not be able to be if it was not for them, and I am just so amazingly grateful for having them in my life, even though they irritate the piss out of me. But I do this thing where it's called, I put people in boxes. So let's say everybody has a personality. Well, not everybody, but for the most part, everybody has a personality. And sometimes their personality is irritating. Other times their personality is great. But sometimes you want to punch them in the face. Those are difficult people. We'll use that. So, in order for me to be able to navigate through this world, I have come to realize that everybody is different. We all bring something different to the table. We all bring something different just to this world as a whole. And nobody is going to come 100% correct, because that's impossible. Nobody is perfect. So in order for me, oh yes, I also believe that I'm a Christian. I believe that so thirsty. I believe that God has put me on this earth with a little bit more patience, a little bit more understanding, and a little bit more forgiveness than others. And I say that because people have done some of the most awful things to me, and I have forgiven them because I believe in unending forgiveness. Now, I also believe in boundaries. What that means is that I can forgive you, but that doesn't mean that we have to be friends. I can forgive you, but that doesn't mean that we have to have a relationship. It means that the transgressions that you did are forgiven, but I still see who you are. I still understand who you are, and I need to adapt and move forward accordingly. everything, whether they seek forgiveness or not. With that being said, in order for me to do that, I have to put people in boxes. When I say put them in boxes, I don't mean physically put them in a box. I mean, the good parts of them are the good parts of them. They are the parts that I love and respect and enjoy. And then there's the ugly parts of them, the ones that irritate me, annoy me, hurt me, things like that. In order for me to deal with the person, the nice, sweet person, I have to say that that person that's only a piece of that person. So the other piece, which is the bad piece, that piece goes into a box. And that box gets pushed to the back of my head. I don't forget about it. I don't ignore it. But I understand that, again, this is a part of that person. Here's an example. I used to attend this church, and I very much enjoyed the church. I learned more from attending there than I had at any other church that I've ever gone to. A large part of that was because of the pastor and the way that, and the structure of the church, the way it was set up with home groups and things like that. So it was done very well. Well, anyways, I started to work for the church. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, but people say don't ever work for a church if you want to continue to attend, because you see behind the scenes. You see the things that people don't see. You actually see people's personalities. You see everything that, you know what I mean. You see everything. I realized that I didn't like the pastor. And I didn't like him because he was a dick. I mean, I don't want to say he wasn't a nice guy, because he was a really nice guy, but he was super OCD, super, I think he maybe was on the spectrum somewhere. I mean, you gotta be. But I also realized to do his job, like with the type of work that he does, and the way that he did it, I do feel like he was kind of a genius. And I know that a lot of geniuses are typically on the spectrum somewhere. Anyways, he needed everything to be absolutely perfect. If it wasn't perfect, then he would throw a fit. And I didn't like that, because I'm like, I'm here for like $8 an hour, and this is my job. Why are you talking to me crazy? And I never said anything. I mean, I did tell him one day that he was in a box, and I told him that I didn't like him personally, his personality. But here's where it ties in. I know that I would not be able to learn as much as I did in that church if I allowed the way I felt about him personally to prevent me from attending, or listening, or hearing anything. I continued to go. I continued to learn. I continued to have my eyes open by this man who I really do feel like is a genius. And I do believe that God has given him this ability to speak to people like me who just wants to understand, or speak to people who, I mean, it was a good sized church and he was growing it because he was a really good pastor. And he, with him being the pastor that he was, I don't know if he could have been that good of a pastor if he wasn't such a dick. I mean, when I say that, I mean, everything had to be perfect. He was a perfectionist. Everything had to be the way that he wanted it. And if he needed it that way in order for him to give the message that he gave on Sunday mornings, then I was completely okay with it. But everybody doesn't need to see his personality. Everybody doesn't need to know that behind the scenes he's a butthead. Only thing they need to know is God's word. And that's what I needed to know. And I also knew that I would not be able to hear God's word if I let my personal feelings interrupt the message that was coming to me through him. That's my box system. My box system is, I can genuinely love everyone and also not like them too. Because it's not one or the other. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that just because you have a bad moment or a bad day or a bad month, it doesn't make you necessarily a bad person. And I think that we struggle as a society as a whole with forgiveness. I think that the lack of forgiveness in this country specifically is going to be what ultimately destroys us. Because if people forgave, let's say, the other side for whatever they feel their bad thing, can't think of the word, whatever their bad things were, I truly honestly believe that we would be able to move forward as a country and just live a better life in a better society. But people don't want to do that because everybody's so angry, and they're angry about all this stuff, and all this stuff is stupid. And I don't know. I hate our political climate right now, and I feel like it's disruptive, and it makes everything a little less enjoyable. And I feel bad for people who have young children growing up. Like for me, it's hard because my kids are they're about to be of voting age, and they are struggling with understanding why people are doing what they are doing or saying the things that they're saying. And I can't really explain it because I don't want them to have the same political views as I do just because they're my kids. I hate when parents do that. Like, you have all these little tiny, I'm going to say Republicans because I'm in Texas, and the city that I'm in right now is literally all Republicans. And I don't want my children to run around and be little Democrats or little conservatives or little liberal or little libertarian or whatever just because I am. So I am very careful with what I say. I am very careful with my opinions about things, and I'm really big on them forming their own opinions and their own justifications as to why their opinions are their opinions. And because of that, my oldest daughter and we are actually on different sides of the political spectrum. But we're on opposite sides, but we still agree with a lot of the same things. I don't want my kids to not have open minds when it comes to anything and everything. And because of that, they are also very loving and accepting and understanding and forgiving. The forgiving part was the hardest thing to teach, because it's something that people struggle with on a regular basis, because people are a-holes and they seem to not want to change that fact about them, being an a-hole. So sometimes you just have to forgive and move forward and just say, it's not on me. I ask people if I do something wrong to somebody, or if somebody does something wrong to me, I usually try to figure out what it is that the problem is. And if I can't figure it out, I will go and I will ask them. I will say, and I've had this conversation before. This one girl, she hated me. She hated my guts. I've learned that people either really like me or they hate me. I have a very polarizing personality, apparently, and I don't know how to change that, because I am just me. So people who meet me, they either love me or they want me dead. And I'm not being dramatic. They just have this disdain for me that I don't understand where it comes from or why it's there. And I don't know. And then it changes over time, because every job that I've had, let's say with like restaurants, it takes about 6 months for people to like me. And when I say like me, I mean to accept me into their thing, and it's 6 months pretty consistently. And one time I actually asked them why it took so long for them to like me, and they said because I would come in every day smiling and saying hi to everyone, and there is no way that that was real, and they just thought I was a fake person putting it on, and they were waiting for the facade to disappear, and it didn't. So that's when they were like, okay, you're cool, I like you. And that's pretty much how it goes. So anyways, this girl at that job, actually, she did not like me at all. She said that she wanted me dead, and if she could have a hand in my death, she would happily do that. Like, that's a next level crazy, okay? Next level. So I say to her, did I do something to you? She goes, oh no. And I said, okay. I said, have I done something to offend you? Oh no, you could never offend me. Okay. Alright. Well, is there anything that I did to directly hurt you? Oh no, boo, you could never hurt me. Okay. Alright, so I didn't do anything to you. You don't like me. No, I can't stand you. Okay. But I didn't do anything, so I'm actually okay with it, because this is now your issue and not mine. So I do hope that you have a fantastic day. And that was the end of our conversation and the last time we ever spoke to each other, because it was insane. And so that is how I approach things now. I say, did I do something to you? Did I do something to offend? And if the answer is no, then the problem is theirs, because I didn't do anything wrong. If they say yes to any of those questions, then I will apologize, because I never, ever want to offend, either intentionally or unintentionally, anybody. If I do, and it would be on purpose, but it would be because I really didn't like you. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't, go off on people or anything like that, because like I said, nobody's perfect, but I do try to just be a good person all around. And if you continue to try to be a good person, then you do very little things to hurt other people, and that's my goal. I don't want, how am I gonna leave a mark on this world saying I want the world to be better, and then I'm an awful person? How does that look? Anyways, I am almost to my destination now. So I'm gonna go. I have 3 minutes left before I'm there, and my makeup is almost done, but like not really. Who knows? I might come back and tell you how the event went. But I'm gonna take pictures and stuff. I don't know how to put pictures on here when I'm talking. I don't know how to do that yet, but I will. Alright, so I am out of here. I do hope that you have a beautiful day. If I come back, I'll see you. But no, I won't.